I send you to go to test, and now you're testing positive for alcohol. Guess what happens now? He goes with you.
I'm not sure why he has this device on his phone.
I don't know, but there's a bond condition. And when you don't live up to the bond condition, there are consequences, just like anything in life. When you have a criminal case, you have conditions that you have to live by. And when you don't,
this is where the foundation of the entire hearing is set. The judge is making one thing very clear from the start. Bond conditions are not suggestions, they are court orders. A lot of people assume that once you're out on bond, the worst is behind you. In reality, bond is a legal agreement with strict rules attached. Break even one condition, intentionally or not, and the court treats it as a serious violation. This opening moment tells the audience exactly what kind of hearing this will be. Not about sympathy, but about responsibility.
there are very serious consequences. Mr. Steyer, you're on bond for fleeing a police officer. The report is that your device is in lockout, and it's been in lockout since 10/24.
Can we address the need for this bond condition?
I don't remember the case, so let's do PC real quick.
Yes, Judge.
And then we'll go from there.
So on August 17th, 2024, at approximately 2 a.m., the officers observed a vehicle with a defective tail lamp and tried to initiate a traffic stop. The vehicle had ample opportunities to stop at multiple well-lit parking lots, but drove 0.46 miles of the final stop location. The defendant had red, glossy eyes.
Now, this is where the case gets complicated. According to the report, there are multiple indicators of alcohol use: red, glossy eyes, slurred speech, an odor of alcohol, an open container, and even a firearm in the vehicle. Yet, despite all of that, there was no DUI charge. That creates a legal contradiction. Ignition interlock devices are usually tied to alcohol-related offenses, so the question becomes unavoidable. If he wasn't charged with DUI, why was this device imposed as a bond condition in the first place? Even the judge appears to be struggling with that inconsistency.
I apologize. The defendant had red, glossy eyes, and the vehicle was running, and the officers also observed a slight odor of an alcoholic beverage from the defendant's body. The defendant had slurred speech and repeated, "I'm just trying to go home. I came from work," but the defendant could not specify his place of work. The defendant denied drinking alcohol, and the officers found an open container of color XO brandy container under the driver's seat and a Taurus pistol under the passenger seat without a holster.
So what bond conditions were on there that they're alleging him to have violated? You want to help me out?
This may be one of the most important admissions in the entire hearing. There was no field sobriety test conducted. In DUI investigations, standardized tests are critical. Without them, the case becomes much weaker, and the judge acknowledges that. Courts are not supposed to punish defendants for poor police work. But here's the key distinction. While the investigation may have been flawed, bond compliance is a separate issue, and that's where this case begins to shift.
Sorry?
This is Steyer.
Yes.
Please.
I have one here. He doesn't have any previous violations. It's just that the device is in lockout.
What device?
The ignition interlock device.
So they put an ignition interlock. I guess the magistrate put an ignition interlock on it.
Charged with DWI.
Yes, conditions were ordered on August 28th. And
I get it, but he's alleged of alcohol in the car. I don't know. How, I mean, begs the question, why didn't they charge him?
It should have been a DWI judge. We're talking to this officer. It should have been a different charge.
I can't say this should have been a different charge. Officers are officers. We're supposed to allow them to do their job, and when their job doesn't rise to what folk think it should be, then all of a sudden they didn't do their job right. We want to talk to the supervisor. Officer didn't charge him, he didn't charge him.
This is the judge drawing a very clear line. Mistakes made by law enforcement fall on the state, not the defendant. However, failing to comply with a bond condition falls entirely on the person out on bond. The judge openly criticizes sloppy reports and inexperienced officers, but still makes it clear that court orders must be followed regardless. From the court's perspective, compliance is non-negotiable, even when the system itself isn't perfect.
So you only got charged with fleeing. I don't understand why he's got this device on
Did
his
they
car.
do field sobriety tests?
They did not, Your Honor.
There was no DWI investigation done at the scene.
Was there any indication that he was intoxicated?
Yes, he had slurred speech, red glossy eyes.
And an odor of alcoholic beverage.
Yes.
Maybe the officer didn't think it rose to the event. At any rate, the officer didn't call it in as a DWI. And whether the state thinks it's shoddy work or not, we don't punish the defendant because the officer did shoddy work.
But we punish them for having bond conditions and not.
I fully understand that, and that's why I wanted to address the need for the bond condition as well as the bond. I understand that the machine's not working or it's in a lockout status, but I'd also like to address why we're having it. So you didn't put it on there.
I didn't, but I think that it's a reasonable restriction when it is, for all intents and purposes, they just didn't charge it because maybe they had an officer that was a rookie, didn't know what they were doing. I can't tell you how many reports that I have see here that might as well have been written in Mandarin, you know?
From the defense perspective, this is.
I understand
that
it.
We have to work with, and if they've got a rookie or if they've got a shoddy investigation, that shouldn't be his fault. Then that's their
But
issue.
it is his fault for not complying
Absolutely.
with bond conditions. That's what happens now, Mr. Steyer.
Just don't say.
What can you possibly say?
This is the turning point of the hearing. Ordering a drug and alcohol test during a bond review instantly raises the stakes. The judge is essentially giving the defendant a final opportunity to prove compliance. A clean test could support the argument that the device lockout was a technical issue. But if the test comes back positive, the court's patience is gone. Everything hinges on this moment, and the audience knows it.
That can help.
I don't, I was saying, I don't understand why it's locked. I called the people about it. I told them never like, it's a troubleshoot with your device. We'll try to figure it out on our end. But they never give no information about what to do.
He can remedy that today, Judge.
No. Figure out now. I'm not going to let him go and then try to figure it after the fact. I'd like to do it now. What do you think? Do you know why it's in lockdown?
I don't, that's what I'm looking at right now. So, because for all of our other devices we have, I don't see anything on the 24th or past that until the email sent to the HR.
Would you mind looking into, please, as to why it's in lockout? It might take a little bit.
I
And have you take a seat in the jury box while we figure this out, and then maybe 5-10 minutes, we'll come back and we'll see that. And then
From the defense perspective, we should still address the need of this. I mean, the officer is part of the state. He is part of the state's witnesses. They didn't make the allegation. They didn't file the charges. I'm still contesting.
Direct and unforgettable. Play stupid games. Win stupid prizes. This isn't about personal hardship or excuses. From the court's perspective, public safety comes first. Missed calibrations, ignored requirements, and failed tests are treated as choices, not accidents. That's why the bond gets revoked and increased, not as revenge, but as a consequence of repeated non-compliance. By the end of this hearing, one thing is clear. The court isn't just enforcing the law, it's sending a message.